Mohenjo-daro is an interesting and mysterious archaeological site found in the province of Sindh, Pakistan. This site is also known as the Mound of the Dead. Hello everyone, I am Rajan and welcome back to the Amazing Things channel. Today we will be looking at Mohenjo-daro, which is another ancient city found in the world. Built around 2500 BCE, it was one of the largest settlements of the ancient Indus Valley Civilization and one of the world's earliest major cities, contemporaneous with civilizations of ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, Minoan Crete, and northern Chicago. Mohenjo-daro was abandoned in the 19th century BCE as the Indus Valley Civilization declined, and the site was not rediscovered until the 1920s. Significant excavation has since been conducted at the site of the city, which was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the 1980s. The site is currently threatened by erosion and improper restoration. The city's original name is unknown. Based on the analysis of a Mohenjo-daro seal, Irvatam Mahadevan speculates that the city's ancient name could have been Kukutarma, which means the city of the cockerel. Cockfighting may have been a ritual and religious significance for the city, with domesticated chickens bred there for sacred purposes, rather than as a food source. Mohenjo-daro may also have been a point of diffusion for the eventual worldwide domestication of chickens. The map shows the major sites and theorized extent of the Indus Valley Civilization, including the location of the Mohenjo-daro site. Mohenjo-daro is located west of the Indus River in the Lakhana district, Sindh, Pakistan, in a central position between the Indus River and the Gargha River. It is situated on a placental ridge in the middle of the floodplain of the Indus River Valley, around 28 kilometers from the town of Lakhana. The ridge was prominent during the time of the Indus Valley Civilization, allowing the city to stand above the surrounding flood, but subsequent flooding has since buried most of the ridge in silt deposits. The Indus still flows east of the site, but the Gargha riverbed on the western side is now dry. Mohenjo-daro was built on the 26th century BCE. It was one of the largest cities of the ancient Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization, which developed around 3000 BCE from the Prehistoric Indus Culture. At its height, the Indus Civilization spanned much of what is now Pakistan and North India, extending westward to the Iranian border, south to the Gujarat in India, and northwards towards the outposts in Bactria, with major urban centers at Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Kalibagan, Tolalavira, and Rakiri. Mohenjo-daro was one of the most advanced cities of its time, with remarkably sophisticated civil engineering and urban planning. When the Indus civilization went into the southern, the city of the ruins remained undocumented for around 3,700 years until R.D. Banerjee, an officer of the Archaeological Survey of India, visited the site in 1919-20, identifying what he thought to be a Buddhist stupa, which was from the 150 to 500 CE, and also finding a flint scraper which convinced him of the site's antiquity. This led to a large-scale excavation of Mohenjo-daro led by Krishna Narkan Dishkrit in the 1924-1925 and John Nasher in the 1925-1926. In the 1930s, major excavations were conducted at the site under the leadership of Marshal D.K. Dishtar and Ernest Mackay. Further excavations were carried out in 1945 by Mortimer Wheeler and his trainee Ahmad Hassan Dani. The last major series of excavations were conducted in 1964 and 1965 by George F. Dale. Mohenjo-daro has a planned layout with rectilinear buildings arranged on a grid plan. Most were built of fired and mortar bricks. Some incorporated sun-dry mud brick and wooden superstructures. The covered area of Mohenjo-daro is estimated to be around 300 hectares. The Oxford Handbook of Cities in World History offers a weak estimate of a peak population of around 40,000 people. The sheer size of the city and its provision of public buildings and facilities suggests a high level of social organization. The city is divided into two parts, the so-called citadel and the lower city. The citadel is a mud brick mound of around 12 meters high. It is known to have supported public baths a large residential structure designed to house around 5,000 citizens, and 2 large assembly halls. The city had a central marketplace with a large central well. Individual households or group of households obtained their water from smaller wells. Wastewater was channeled to covered drains that lined to the major streets. Some houses, presumably those of the most prestigious inhabitants, include rooms that appear to have set aside for bathing, and one building had an underground furnace, possibly for heated bathing. Most houses have inner courtyards with doors that open onto side lanes. Some buildings had even 2 stories. Other large buildings include a pillared hall, thought to be an assembly hall of some kind, and the so-called College Hall, a complex of buildings comprising of 78 rooms, thought to have been a priestly residence. Excavation of the city revealed very tall wells which it seems were continually built up as flooding and rebuilding raised to the elevation of street level. Mohenjo-daro had no series of city walls, but was fortified with guard towers to the west of the main settlement and defensive fortifications to the south. Considering these fortifications and the structure of other major Indus Valley cities like Harappa, it is postulated that Mohenjo-daro was an administrative center. Both Harappa and Mohenjo-daro share relatively the same architectural layout and were generally not heavily fortified like other Indus Valley sites. The second significant statue found is the statue of the Dancing Girl. A bronze statuette dubbed the Dancing Girl, which is 10.5 cm high, is about 4,500 years old, was found in HR area of Mohenjo-daro in 1926. It is now in the National Museum of New Delhi. In 1973, British archaeologist Mohenjo-daro described the item as his favorite statuette. She is about 15 years old, I should think, no more, but she stands there with bangles all the way up to her arm and nothing else on. A girl perfectly, for the moment, perfectly confident of herself and the world. There is nothing like her, I think, in the world. John Marshall, another archaeologist at Mohenjo-daro, described the figure as a young girl, her hand on her hip in half impudent posture, and the legs slightly forward as she beats time to the music with her legs and feet. The archaeologist Gregory Bosworth said of the statuette, "We may not be certain as she was a dancer, but she was good at what she did and she knew it." The statue led to 2 important discoveries about the civilization. First, that they knew metal blending, casting, and other sophisticated methods of working with ore, and secondly, that entertainment, especially dance, was part of the culture.
This marks the end of the video. Mohenjo-daro is a historic monument in Pakistan, which is shrouded by many questions and mysteries, and many archaeologists are still trying to unravel these mysteries. With that, thank you for watching this video, and once again, if you have enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.